What seniors secretly wish their grandchildren knew about them. There's a quiet truth that lives in the hearts of many older people, a kind of tender ache that doesn't always get words. It sits just beneath the surface when we sit with our grandchildren, when we hear about their busy lives, their dreams, their struggles, their plans. We smile, we nod, we say, "I'm proud of you." And we mean it, every word. But there's so much more we wish we could say. Not out of guilt, not to pull anyone closer by obligation, but because inside of us, beneath the gray hair, the slower steps, the fading hearing, there's still a story that longs to be heard. A lifetime of memories, mistakes, lessons, and love that hasn't run out just because the phone doesn't ring as often. Most of us won't say this out loud. We don't want to seem needy. We don't want to disrupt. We were raised to be strong, to be humble, to hold our emotions in check. But the truth is, we still feel everything. We still notice when we're left out of conversations. We still light up at a small gesture of inclusion. We still hope quietly that the next generation won't forget we're here. That you won't forget. Because when we look at you, our grandchildren, we see more than just youth and energy in the future. We see ourselves long ago. We remember what it was like to want to break free, to find our place, to make our own choices. We don't blame you for moving forward, we cheer for you. But in the space between our cheers, there's also a whisper. I still want to matter. I still want you to know who I am. This isn't about asking for more attention, it's about offering a bridge, because there's so much wisdom, humor, strength, and depth that lives inside the people you call grandma or grandpa. So many things we've carried quietly, so many truths we've never said out loud, not because we're hiding them, but because no one asked. But maybe, just maybe, if you're listening now, we'll tell you. So lean in, listen close, because this is what we wish you knew. Not out of duty, but because we love you more than we sometimes know how to say. And it's time to let you in on the things we've been carrying all along. You might not think it when you see me move a little slower, or when I ask you to repeat yourself, or when I don't quite understand the latest app or trend. But I wasn't born old. I didn't come into this world in a rocking chair with aching knees and silver hair. I was once exactly where you are now. Young, curious, bold, overwhelmed, unsure, and full of the wild hope that life had something incredible in store. I know what it feels like to want more than what you've been handed. I remember sneaking out to see someone my parents didn't approve of. I remember the thrill of hearing my favorite song on the radio, heart racing as if the world had made that moment just for me. I remember fighting with my parents, dreaming about moving far away and thinking, truly believing, that I would do everything differently when it was my turn. I remember heartbreak, the kind that makes you want to lie still and let the world pass by. I remember joy that made no sense on paper, but filled my chest like fireworks. I remember being terrified of failing, of not being enough, of letting everyone down. So when I see you struggling or soaring or stumbling through love, identity, career, or self-worth, I don't stand apart from it. I feel it with you, because I've been there. I remember you might look at me now and think we're worlds apart, but we're not. The scenery has changed, sure, but the feelings, they're still the same. The dreams, they just aged with me. And that longing you have to be seen, to be understood, to matter, I carried it too. So don't assume that just because I'm older, I've forgotten what it means to be young. That I can't understand your restlessness or your hunger to be free. I may not always know the words you use, but I know the feelings. I was you once, and a part of me still is. One of the biggest misunderstandings about aging is that we stop changing. People see our routines, our slower pace, our decades of experience, and they assume we've arrived at some final version of ourselves. That who we are now is who we've always been, and who will stay until the very end. But that's not how it works. We may be older, but we're still learning, still wrestling with life's questions, still growing into who we're meant to be. Just because our bodies slow down doesn't mean our hearts or minds do. In fact, sometimes they wake up in ways they never could before. I'm still learning how to let go of expectations, of old fears, of things I once thought were permanent. I'm still figuring out how to forgive more quickly, how to speak more gently, how to love more deeply without always needing to be right. I'm learning patience in ways I never did as a young person. Learning that time is a gift, not a guarantee. That people don't owe me understanding, but I owe them compassion. Anyway, and I'm still finding new parts of myself. I've discovered hobbies I never had time for before, books I never thought I'd enjoy, thoughts and questions about the world that make me feel more awake now than I ever did in my 20s. I'm still growing, not out of necessity, but out of a quiet desire to keep becoming. I want you to know this because I want you to believe the same is possible for you at any age. You don't stop evolving after 30 or 50 or even 80. You don't become someone and then just stay frozen there. Life continues to offer you invitations to expand, to deepen, to soften, to become wiser, kinder, freer. So don't box me in. Don't talk about me like I've stopped changing. Ask me what I'm thinking about these days, what I've been working through, what surprised me lately. You might be amazed by the answer. I may have more years behind me than ahead, but that doesn't mean I'm finished. Because the truth is, I'm still becoming the person I was meant to be. Even now, let me say something that's hard to admit, but true for so many of us. Sometimes we stay quiet not because we have nothing to say, but because we're afraid of becoming too much trouble. Too many reminders, too many calls, too many needs. We don't want to be the reason you sigh when the phone rings. We don't want to feel like an obligation on your calendar or a checkbox on your list. So we pull back. We pretend we're okay when we're not. We say, I'm fine because we don't want to seem needy. And we try to convince ourselves that we're just being respectful of your time, your space, your independence. But the truth underneath it all, we just want to matter, not in a loud, demanding way. Not in a way that makes you feel guilty or overwhelmed. We just want to feel like we still have a place in your world, that our thoughts are worth listening to, that our presence brings comfort, not inconvenience. You see, aging has a way of shrinking our circles. Friends pass away, neighbors move, the world moves faster, and sometimes it feels like we've been left on the sidelines. We're still here, but we're no longer at the center. We don't get asked for advice as often. We don't get included in decisions that once came through us. And while we understand that's just life, we still hope. We hope you'll reach out, even just to say, I was thinking about you. We hope you'll ask us about our past, our thoughts, our feelings. We hope we won't be forgotten in the speed of your becoming, because we don't need constant attention. We're not asking to be your world. We just want to remain a meaningful part of it. So if we seem quiet, don't assume we've run out of things to say. If we seem distant, don't assume we've stopped caring. We just don't want to be a burden. But we still want to be seen. We still want to be loved. We still want to matter. You may think that the times you visit, the times you call, or even just the times you text, they're small things. They're not. They're everything. You may not realize how often we check our phones, just in case there's a message from you. How we reread the last thing you sent us, even if it was weeks ago. How a simple, I miss you, or a blurry photo of your lunch makes our entire day feel brighter. You may not realize that when you sit beside us, even if you're distracted or busy, we feel fuller, more whole, more connected to life. Your presence reminds us that we're still part of something that's moving, something that's changing, something that's real. Because as we get older, we start to lose things. Not just health or memory or mobility, but place. We used to host the holidays. We used to drive the kids. We used to be in the center of the storm, holding things together. And now, we watch, we wait, we wonder if we're still needed, and then you show up, you call, you include us, and it fills a space nothing else can. You don't have to bring gifts, you don't have to say the perfect words, just be near, just show up, just let us hear your voice now and then. Because when you do, something in us settles. We feel seen, we feel remembered, we feel like life hasn't passed us by completely. So if you're ever unsure of what to give us your time. Even 5 minutes, even a phone call while you're walking to the store. You don't have to talk the whole time. Sometimes we just want to hear you breathe. Because you mean more to us than we'll ever fully be able to explain. And your presence, your real, simple, beautiful presence, means more than you could ever know. Inside of me live entire worlds you've never seen. Not just memories, but moments. Real ones. Ones that shaped me. Ones that no photo ever captured. Ones I've carried not because I was hiding them, but because life moved fast and no one asked. There are stories I've never told. Not because they're secret, but because I never knew if they mattered to anyone else. The moment I met your grandmother and knew, without a doubt, that I'd love her until my last breath. The first time I held your parent in my arms, terrified and in awe. The time I lost someone I loved and still felt the world spinning like nothing had happened. The laughter that echoed through kitchens long before you were born. The mistakes I made and never stopped learning from. The dreams I let go of and the ones I still hold quietly in my chest even now. These stories aren't just old tales. They're part of your history too. You came from more than DNA. You came from moments, from choices, from a life that's still pulsing through your own without you even knowing it, and I want to share them with you. Not to teach you a lesson, not to lecture, but to give you something deeper than advice. To offer you a thread back through time, something that grounds you, roots you, reminds you that you're part of a longer story than your own. When we talk, ask me something real. Ask me what I remember. Ask me what I regret. Ask me what I've never said out loud. Let me pass something on to you. Not money or possessions, but something more sacred. My lived truth. Because I've learned things the hard way. I've survived what I thought I couldn't. And I've loved enough to know what matters when everything else falls away. These aren't just stories, they're pieces of who I am. And they're waiting for you. It's easy to look at someone like me and see only the surface. The slower walk, the tired eyes, the hands that shake a little when pouring coffee, the creases on my face that time carved over decades. But please don't stop there. Don't reduce me to the number of candles on my birthday cake, or assume my spirit has faded just because my bones complain a little louder now. I am still me. Inside this older body lives the same spark that once danced barefoot in the grass, the same courage that moved across the country with nothing but hope, the same humor that once had a room in stitches, the same fire that once argued fiercely for what I believed in. I still dream. I still desire. I still imagine the future, even if I won't see all of it. Age has changed me, yes, but it hasn't erased me. Sometimes I notice the way people look through me or around me, as if I've faded into the background. Sometimes I catch the impatience in a store clerk's voice, or the way someone assumes I don't understand technology or politics or modern life. But what they don't see is that I've lived through more revolutions, emotional and cultural, than most people realize. I've rebuilt after heartbreak. I've seen the world change again and again, and I've kept learning, kept adapting. I am not irrelevant. And I don't want you to see me as fragile or slow or past my prime. Because every wrinkle you see, it came from laughter or sorrow or resilience. Every step I take now, it carries the weight of experience you haven't even imagined yet. So look past the surface. See me, not as old, but as seasoned. Not as fading, but as full. Not as someone who used to be something, but as someone who still is. I am not just aging, I am still alive, still curious, still worthy of being seen. And I hope when you look at me, that's what you'll see too. There's something that shifts in the way we love as we get older. When you were little, love meant protection. It meant holding your hand when you crossed the street. It meant staying up late when you were sick, fixing your favorite food, chasing away nightmares, and tucking you in while whispering promises we weren't sure we could keep, but hoped we could. It was physical, immediate, constant. Now I love you differently. I can't be there for every moment. I can't fix every problem or always know what's going on in your life. I can't always read your face the way I once could. Sometimes I have to guess how you're really doing. Sometimes I wait longer than I'd like to hear from you. But my love hasn't faded. It's just evolved. Now love means praying for you when you don't even know it. It means defending you when others don't understand you. It means carrying your heartbreak in my heart even when you don't share it out loud. It means smiling at your victories even if I'm not there to see them in person. It means trusting the life you're building, even when it looks different from the one I imagined for you. And sometimes, it just means being still, staying present, holding space. I don't always say it the right way. I don't always know how to express the depth of what I feel, but you need to know. My love for you is as fierce, as protective, and as enduring as it ever was. Maybe even more so, because it's no longer about shaping you. It's about honoring who you are now. It's about being proud of the person you've become, even from afar. You may not see it every day, but I carry you with me, in my thoughts, in my stories, in every quiet part of my life that still lights up when you cross my mind. And that kind of love, it doesn't grow old. It just grows deeper. So here we are. We may be quieter now. We may not be in the center of your life like we once were, but we still feel everything. We still carry more love, more memory, more gratitude, more hope than we know how to put into words. We remember what it's like to be you. We're still becoming who we are. We don't want to burden you, we just want to be part of your world. Your presence is more powerful than you know. We hold stories that belong to you. We're more than what you see on the surface. And we love you with the kind of love that life and time only deepen, never diminish. So if there's anything we want you to know, really, truly know, it's this. We are still here, still listening, still growing, still hoping, still loving. We may not always say it. We may not always find the right moment, but it's there every day in the way we look at you, in the way we remember you, in the way we hold space for you quietly, without asking for anything in return. And we hope, more than anything, that someday, when you're older, you'll understand what we've been trying to say all along. That love, the kind that lasts, a lifetime doesn't always come in grand speeches. Sometimes it just sits in the room with you, smiling, watching, feeling it all.